Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, you can't play, Monarchs with a new support without testing the extra deck version as well. This is currently the build. It might seem awkward, right, on first sight, but a couple of things. Because of Domain might make your Erebus or Aether level 6, and in case of Aether you can special summon the new Eidos Monarch, which is also a level 6, so that's an easy rank 6 Exceed play, while rank 5 I'm looking at Pleiades. Currently only 8 cards in the extra deck because of Megazaborg. Megazaborg it's a bonkers card. Before it was kinda awkward or nifty, but now it's scary consistent to get off Megazaborg. No stun trap, but I'm running the new trap as well, right? Because it's much better, obviously, in this particular deck. So you'll see, a couple of combos, a couple of ways how I feel the deck definitely has potential main decking or playing the extra deck variant as well. The problem is that your power cards, like your new Tessera, your new Idea, most of the new cards as well, they block you from using extra deck as soon as you use them. So going for your extra deck, I feel first turn is hardly a no-go, unless, of course, with the situation, let's say if your opponent does not have any hand trap with Aether level 6, you're going for that rank 6 at play first turn, that's definitely an option. But from all videos, from all matches, you're never going to do that because everyone is making 12 to 15 hand traps. Zaborg, on the other hand, that's much easier, right? Again, you are able to go for your combo pieces that lock you, from preventing you from using your extra deck. And as you saw from the previous video, this new support gives your Monarch deck 3 normal summons, or 3 tribute summons basically. So most of the time you're either going to special or tribute summon for the new level 6 Monarch and or Erebus. Erebus forces out like an Imperm or Veiler the first hand trap. Maybe even the level 6 forces out the second hand trap. And then there's Megazaborg, right, to basically hit their entire extra deck. To cripple, let's face it, most decks nowadays. Again, like there's rarely a deck that doesn't need its extra deck. Even, Fiendsmith Fire King. And now, again, because of Megazaborg, I'm only running 8 cards in the extra deck. Because again, Megazaborg lets you, send up to 8 cards because of its level from both extra decks to the graveyard. So by doing this, you can make your domain lock live. And at the same time, make use of your extra deck monsters, right? Like the both fossils, for example, to pop a spell or trap and to pop a monster. You have the Pegasus Ignister Synchro to bounce back a monster. You have the Herald, right? The Synchro to search, because there's a small Magician Souls package. Because quite nifty, the new Eidos, level 6 Monarch, is also a spellcaster. That's no coincidence. So you see, and those draws, right, with Garura and the Tri-Brigade. The Tri-Brigade one is nifty because it lets you draw and send back a card from your hand to the deck. Again, like sending back, those useless Eidos, etc. you want to have in your deck. So that's quite nifty, again. Always dig for Ash Blossom first, but with this hand I was forced to go for an early Rebellion. Then Ashing Rebellion, that hurts, that really hurts. But we were able to discard the Tessera. So, special summon Idea, Eidos, and you go for Talon's Draw too. I mean, we have to draw like a Monarch or whatever, right? It's there. So we can use Tenacity, go for Domain Lock, go for Domain, but Domain Lock is not live, but we might be able to go for that one, depends. Do we have Megazaborg in the graveyard? No, because we weren't able to resolve Rebellion, but we do have a couple of normal summons. Yeah, we have 3, right? Yep, we should have 3. So get back Pantheism, we go for Megazaborg, we sacrifice Vanity's Fiend by doing this, but I think going for Megazaborg was the play. Popping itself, making sure that we tribute. Ah, yes, they let us go first, that's the thing. That's why we went for Megazaborg over Vanity's Fiend, right? Couple of draws, Herald for the search, always last in the chain, right? First in chain, depends how you look at it. Go for the trap, just in case for more protection, and pass, right? Like, what's Tenpai going to do without an extra deck? Hardly any extra deck. So Dark Hole is fine, they pass. They pass. So we go for the Erebus here. That was not the correct play, in case of talents. That was my mistake. So now we're able to, establish our board. We don't, at least we're not using our extra deck that much. The only rank 5 extra deck monster that's there is Pleiades, while rank 6 is the DDD one. But again, you can just get our domain lock right and still capitalize on your extra deck monsters, you know, as a draw engine, being in the grave for disruption and so on. Culmination is fantastic in this build, especially because in some situations or most situations, if you're not able to go for Zaborg, which by the way is not your main to go to combo, right? It's just a nifty extra. If you see the opportunity, I think you should go for it, especially in an extra deck heavy oriented metagame. But it's just far too OP because it's, you know, so easy and you have 3 tribute summons basically. Anyway, going second, Ryzel, currently one of the best decks. This hand is definitely solid. We have one of the two primes, again extra deck based, so we go for 2 primes and 1 culmination. The new trap. So they have a monster negation with the field spell, a couple of spells and traps. So we dig for Ash Blossom. There is no Ash, so we can go for Stormfort, tribute for Vanity's Fiend, and this is so good. Why those 1-card tribute monsters are still so disgusting, looking at Vanity's Fiend, looking at Majesty's Fiend, because of this, you know. What was it? The Eclipse was attached to Detonator. When tributed, it's sent to the graveyard, so normally Detonator or Eclipse will trigger, reborning Detonator, but nope. And, you know, Vanity's Fiend is continuous, so your opponent cannot like, let me imperm Vanity's Fiend and then use Eclipse. That's not possible. So we are, I guess, preemptively flipping over Culmination could have been a mistake if Ryzel decks do play another aggregator. You know, the XC that negates face-up cards, but I don't think they do, right? So now, this trap. Ooh, this trap is disgusting. It's definitely disgusting. In a domain build, it depends, right? But you could go for the stun card. What is it? Erupt. But this is, again, basically copying all of the old school Monarchs, right? Like, what is it? Bounce back, pop up to 2 spells and traps, discard a random card, and it's not once per turn. At least, different effects are once per turn. But as long as you can banish those Monarch spell and traps from the graveyard, you can use all of those effects in the same turn. So here, I think I was about to bounce Detonator. So basically, that uses its effect. But, I mean, we have fuel in hand, we can pretty much establish our board again. Set up Majesty's Fiend, that's the thing, right? Like, you don't need to run Return here, obviously, because it blocks your extra deck as well. You could, but this new spell gets up your, like, Erebus in graveyard. I'm actually using Erebus's graveyard effect a lot. We get Null Charming, which in this case is fine, because again, due to the chain links, they're not able to chain Detonator here, because now Erebus resolves, getting rid of the Detonator. Sure, they can imperm, preventing the Idea from special summoning, which is fine. The Ados will get the trap back. So nice, it gets things back, right, from the graveyard. So go for domain, which is not live. I mean, we can go for game, right? We get the new Tessera on field, go for the extra tribute summon. I think we still have 1 extra tribute summon left. Recycle one of our banished primes to, you know, get more fuel, and yeah, that's more than enough. So really nice. Really nifty. Like, in all honesty, I'm actually always trying to go for an extra deck summon, especially going first. But it's just, first of all, so hard because of so many hand traps. And 2, the fact that the other potential card plays, like, you know, your Rebellion, etc., and the new Idea, they lock you into extra deck summons, and in 99% of the games, it's much better to go for those plays, right? Rather than, you know, go for an extra deck play. So force out those hand traps. Again, dig for Ash Blossom first, and then dig for Imperms, Failures, or whatever. Go for the new Monarch. We search Zaborg. They could be nifty and, you know, keep Failure for Zaborg, but I mean, that's fine. That's 2 hand traps gone. So we try to put up Domain Lock. We are able to do that. So again, Mega Zaborg. We see it's Ryzel. Destroy their extra deck. Get 2 draws, and Herald searching the Magician. What is it? The ritual one. Yups, which searches... I'm not sold yet on this engine. I mean, in theory it sounds fantastic, because now you can search Magician Souls, which it's fine. Could give you at least a couple of draws. But Magician Souls, it sounds so good in theory, but in practice it never works out. So, Domain Lock live, Majesty's Fiend with a trap, super sick. And now it's somewhat of a grindy duel. We draw the illusion that's the thing. That's the bummer. Like those 2 bricks, Magician Souls, the ritual, I'm not so sure. I don't think they will make the cut eventually. Other cards looking at Fenrir, Thrust Talents maybe. We're running 1 Talents. That's fine, especially for this extra deck. Hand traps. I don't think you need to main deck hand traps. The problem is that this deck doesn't really have very solid one-card starters that are resilient to hand traps, like Snake Eyes, for example. So with this deck, you cannot run 12 to 15 hand traps to stop your opponent. And like running, what is it, 3 to 6 hand traps, I don't see the point. The only hand traps might be that might be worthy, you know, Mild Charmy when you know you're going second. Maxi, right? Mild Charmy. I'm not so sure about Nip. Format dependent and just too many decks playing around Nip. Ash maybe for the Charmies, like, you know, Perulia, etc. Ash might be a hand trap that I'm definitely contemplating on main decking because of those, you know, the Charmies. So this should be. Am I able to attack? No, this is still first turn, right? Yeah, which is still fine. Surge the trap, so good, right? You can't go for domain lock, so we surge the trap and sit on the trap. So let's see. It's Cybers.deck, Malice. That's nice. We flip over the trap and let the advantage grind up, let the advantage begin. So we banish one. I think you bounce back, yeah, one of the Malice cards. That makes the trap useless. So now, whenever your opponent special summons a monster, we can use the trap again. Different effect. I think we wanted to pop the set, so we force the trap, right? An early trap. Now, what are we going to do now? Pop, yeah, the level 3. They do have a Bestial though. And here, I probably should have gone for Ether much sooner to put, at least to give me more Monarch spells and traps in the graveyard, right? I think I have, what is it, discard one random card still? And one more. I'm not so sure. And pop spells and traps, I think. Anyway, so more Monarch spell and traps, so let's see. We don't have any interruptions, but, you know, we are securing ourselves for, you know, more plays in case, you know, they pump out the big board. This is all fine. I think we can only discard from random card. Yeah, we discard Veiler, I think. So that's pretty solid. This is all fine. They set the trap. They special summon something from the graveyard. Okay, they can still use Dormouse. Okay. The question is, what are you going to do? They make access code, right? If I remember correctly. That doesn't really seem that great. I mean, we have Stormfort. Sure, they pop the trap, but doesn't really matter, right? Ah, all those field spells, that hurts. So, yeah, should be my doom. So really cool. Even though I didn't summon any of... Again, I tried. I really tried, but as soon as you have both primes set up, it's other plays are just much better. And then again, like Zaborg, the card is much better than expected. It might even just be main deckable. It's a sick card. 3 normal summons in the same turn. And the extra deck with 8, I like it. I really like it. So again, feel free to leave suggestions. Like Bestials, maybe? Definitely an option. But other than that, I feel that it's fine. It's really fine. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment, like. If you enjoyed the video, Riddim signing out. Peace.